are we? Witches are we? Witches are we on a Wednesday? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'll take them off. Oh, there we go. Yep. So, my lovely, how are you?
All good. Quite tired. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. Lots of running around, lots to do.
Yes.
But yes,
It's
been good.
Ditto. And have you been up to much witchiness?
Well, general witchiness, because everything is incredibly green, and it's that thing of being in the moment and noticing it, and realising that most people don't notice kind of what's in their immediate surroundings, and that's magical in itself. But talking to a very good friend of mine, Lainey, who I do that Let's Talk About show with on a Tuesday evening, and she'd been housebound for quite a few weeks because her motorised wheelchair wasn't working, and she just got it fixed, and she went out, and she hadn't been out since March. She goes out yesterday or the other day, and suddenly she notices just how everything's changed because, of course, the leaves are out and the blossoms out and everything. So I think it really hit home that day to day you can take it a little bit for granted. And I think there's a lot of positive magic in noticing the little things, just the little touches, and how everything changes.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And I love that. I really do. I mean, every single day it's very slightly different.
Yeah.
I had a real treat yesterday. So, the old lady that I go and visit, she had the brand new family of foxes in the garden yesterday evening. Ooh. Oh, and there was a couple of little ones. I think it was 3 little ones. And they weren't as big as my smallest cat. They were really diddy little ones, really brand spanking new. And they were all fluffy and wobbly and
oh bless, they're probably only a few weeks old then, 6 weeks old, if that.
Yeah, exactly, if that actually. But they were really, really fluffy, the little black noses, and they were just lovely. So so there's me standing there, tray in hand. So I'm like, oh look, there's foxes. Just stood looking out the window for 5 minutes, stealing things or disappearing and getting cold. But so that was amazing, and I love that, and I've been looking forward to that happening. Because it's almost like a sanctuary, this lady's garden, because it's a big garden and it's all enclosed and it's really safe. It's quite magical, actually.
I bet it's nicely overgrown in the right ways.
Yeah, and it's got all these little hidden walkways in it, and it's amazing, actually.
Yeah,
really,
across a fairy garden. Yeah,
it really is. It's wonderful. And so there they were, just sort of running around and picking things up and tossing them about, and it was lovely, actually, really lovely. So been looking forward to seeing them. So there they were, my little tiny piece of magic for a Tuesday evening, that was. So we've got some people in. We've got Redwing, and we've got London Girl. London Girl has just subscribed to us. Hello, London Girl. Hello. Welcome. And of course we've got Hello, Hannah. Tony, and Tony's in. Hello. Been eating potatoes. Editing. Potatoes.
It's the eyes,
Potatoes too. Sorry, I haven't had a sip of drink yet either. I do need new glasses. I did tell you.
You do. You really do.
I really do. I hope they're nice potatoes, Tony. That's all I can say. And as for your photos, I'm sure they're smashing. So, and we've got Chris in. Hello, Chris. We're going to be picking your brains in a little bit. And yes, I think perhaps I'll have a drink.
And Rowan as well. Rowan's in.
Oh, and Rowan. Sorry,
I've just seen Rowan pop in. Hello.
Sorry. So we've got lots of people in. Hello. So we've got lots to say.
There's a surprise.
Yes. Well, there's always loads to talk about, isn't there?
Cheers.
Lots and lots and lots. Cheers. I'll do that again. Marvellous. Oh, my half pint of gin and tonic.
I was going to say that's gin tonic, and I'm currently on Peaky Blinders Ale.
Peaky Blinders Ale.
It's the rules.
Yes. Now then. So, my big news of the week is I went somewhere and had a completely unique experience on Friday.
A unique experience? Okay.
A unique experience. Well, if those of you that have been watching for a while know that I do extra work in films and TV and whatnot. And it was the very first time that I went to the cinema to see myself on the big screen. It was really exciting. Blink and you miss it, mind you, but I was there.
That's the thing. I keep trying to see in the clips and I know you're in there, but it's so quick.
I know, it's super quick. There I am. Yeah. But you can kind of like just find me with the hair.
You find hair.
So, yeah, you find the hair, and then you can sort of like, follow the hair, not follow the bear, follow the hair. So yes, I can now announce it. I've been sworn to secrecy prior to now, and I can announce that I was in Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse. So yes, it's a strange place, the multiverse, very strange place, and it's got some strange people in it too.
Most of them are the extras.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, including me. So that was really good fun, and of course it was 4.5 months worth of work from last year. And it was nice to see the culmination of 4.5 months' work boiled down into 1.6 seconds. It was perfect. So on a second-by-second basis, it was pretty good pay. On a day-by-day basis, not quite so good, but
And all the COVID testing and all the weather.
And all the weather, yes,
kind of weather.
With weather. Oh my God, yeah, the weather was something else. It really was, but it was good fun, and it was an experience. And of course, that experience of going to the cinema and seeing that was, never ever to be repeated. There would never be a first time of seeing that ever. Although my daughter did say that there might be another first time, because on one occasion, at some time point in the future, you never know, I might even speak. That'd be interesting, won't it?
I'm sure you will.
Who knows? Anyway, so any Marvel fans out there, go and watch Doctor Strange, see if you can spot me. It's a bit like Where's Wally, only quicker.
Yes, not so brightly coloured.
And in black, yeah. You can spot me because I'm wearing that. You can spot me, and my hair, of course. So yeah. Anyway, it was really good fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it. That's definitely one to notch down as an experience, I have to say. So so that was fun. So, and of course that in itself is a kind of magic thing. The film's about magic and stuff, and of course you've got the magic of special effects and all that kind of stuff too. So it's exactly, all the witchery themes and so on. So perfectly placed. Incognito.
Yes.
I did spend an inordinate amount of time outside Doctor Strange's house, I might add.
Okay, that sounds peculiar.
Yeah, hanging around on a street corner outside Doctor Strange's house.
Slightly dodgy, slightly stalkerish.
Very dodgy, very stalkerish, as a matter of fact. Sent the poor man flying at one point.
Indeed.
And he didn't know. Well, I was going to say he didn't know what hit him, but he did, because he
knew it was you.
He knew it was me. So, but no, it was in all seriousness. It was really good fun, and it was brilliant to go and sort of experience that. There was a load of other extras that came too, and we sort of had our own little private showing, and didn't have the red carpet treatment apart from outside my house. Found a red rug, or red blanket rather. And,
I saw the picture.
Yes.
Very glamorous.
Exactly, yeah. So mind you, did mean that in the pub beforehand, where we had drinks and a meal, having got sort of glammed up a little bit, and the people in the pub knew that we were meeting there because of the fact that we were the extras in the film and that we were going off to go and see it afterwards. They knew that, and so we did get slightly nicer treatment than we might otherwise have done. That's not to say that they weren't lovely anyway, because actually they were really, really nice. Hello, people in the Bull in Romford, if you're watching. So yeah, that was really nice, and so we got a little bit of preferential treatment, and that's always nice to feel a bit special. So yeah, a little bit of magic there too.
Yes.
It was very different, very unusual, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So yeah, Hannah came along with me, didn't you, babe? Yeah. So yes, it was all good. So yes, in fact, actually, we were the only two that bothered getting dressed up, really, weren't we? Everyone kind of, jeans and a t-shirt, or Doctor Strange hats and t-shirts and things like that, which is all well and good. But we decided that, well, if you're going to have a premiere, then why not get dressed up for it?
Indeed.
So yeah, anyway, it was a good experience, and I really enjoyed that. And that in itself was, just it's really, pardon the pun. So yeah, it was good fun. So that was that. But real magic-wise, been busy too. So I've been making lots and lots and lots of incense, lots of it. And it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing because we sort of made this massive amount of it. because it's now, actually I don't know how many days it is now. It's about 94 days. 94 days till the hand fasting. It's the first time I've announced it on here. Yes, about 94 days, I think. And yeah, we decided we wanted to burn some every day between now and then. So
you needed a lot.
Need rather a lot. And it's been quite nice because we've been adding bits and pieces. We had, our sort of main ingredients to start off with, and then a bit more of this and a bit more of that, and that's a bit to this and a bit to that. So it's
tweaking
kind of
your recipe.
Yeah, tweaking. So yeah, it's rather nice actually. It's sort of mutated over time, and sometimes it's like, oh, it's a bit too masculine, we take some of that down, and then, oh no, that's a bit too much of this, and take some of that down. So it's nice actually. It's, all sorts of different ingredients with very poignant reasons for having those particular ingredients in there, and it's been nice to do. So we've got jars and jars and jars of it, and obviously it will culminate on the final day.
Indeed. We'll have to have a conference, won't we?
Yes, definitely.
We need to. I've got to get my head around it. It's amazing how much is going on this year. It's like, no, focus.
It's difficult to pinpoint yourself down sometimes, isn't it? And it's like, because you've got so much going on, and you need to do this, but actually that takes precedent.
It's a mad year. It truly is mad. I mean, currently, magically, I suppose my sort of day-to-day magical work has been for my dear friend, who is benefiting and is undergoing chemotherapy as we speak, and things are going very well. So there is always healing energy that is required somewhere, and someone needs it. So happy to oblige. Yeah.
Got a good comment from Rowan here. A true witchy play or movie needs to be written. Becky, you have your assignment.
Ooh.
Well, I feel like
that's another thing to do.
Books. Oh God, that as well as all those flipping books that are on the go. I've got another one on the go now.
Yeah, well, you really have to finish one. Get one nailed.
I know. Mind you, the book that I first had anything at all published in, which is the name escapes me. God, I wish I had better memory. What's it called? It'll come to me in a minute. That's reached another milestone of sales. Can't remember the flipping name.
Oh, is that
Everyday Magic? Yeah,
Everyday Magic.
Yeah, Everyday Magic. Yeah. So that's reached another milestone of sales. So that's doing quite nicely. So that's got a few entries in there. So so that's doing quite well. And then the ebook that was published last year, that seems to be doing quite well too. So I'm getting there. But so that's doing quite well. Not mine. Again, I was just a contributor on that. So but I actually need to get my own one sorted out. And
you have several on the go.
Yeah, I know. What I actually need to do is get a proper big bottle of bum glue and sit myself down.
I wonder what you were going to say. I was like, bottle of gin, that's not going to accomplish much.
No, bum glue, so I can sit myself down and glue my laptop to my lap and actually not stand up again until I've written something. Anyway.
Yes. Once you get one done, the rest will kind of follow. It's because they're all slightly backed up, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pinning myself down though. That's the problem.
You've got so many things to do, and this year of all years is.
Yeah, I know. But I will get there. I will. Yeah. So Oh, so Rowan says what? I missed the word. Yeah, hand fasting. I'm getting hand fasted too, Anna.
Pagan wedding.
Pagan wedding. She's smiling over here.
A lot of fun.
There's an awful lot of fun, an awful lot of smiles. Yes, an awful lot of travelling about too. But anyway, so that'll be marvellous. So, bum glue sounds like so everyone needs bum glue at some point in time. Yeah, especially me. Now then, it's been rude.
Easy.
Rude and personal. That's not nice, is it? So, been foraging too. You've done any foraging recently, Heather?
Just a bit of wild garlic. Always handy in a recipe, and just trying to identify some of the sort of more weedy things that seem to be hanging about in the garden, trying to work out why. What's so lovely at the moment.
Just why.
You know what I mean? Why they're suddenly there. So this year I've got an entire garden full of forget-me-nots. Yeah, I've got forget-me-nots all over the garden. They're everywhere, and they're beautiful.
I love them.
They're basically a weed in my garden because they're all growing in where they shouldn't be, where there was once a lawn. But I'm leaving them be because insects like them and they're beautiful, and why shouldn't they have their turn?
Exactly. Yeah, because bees. Yeah.
Because bees.
Because bees. Yeah, exactly. So actually, I had a two-pronged attack from both friends of mine from a different source, plus from Chris. And Chris was talking about cleavers the other week when we were on here, and so I went out and attacked the garden on I can't remember if it was Thursday or Sunday. Anyway, either or. Sunday, wasn't it? Yeah. Went out and attacked the garden on Sunday, and oh God, I'm flipping things everywhere.
Yes, we have a lot of them too.
They drive me nuts. They're one of those that really irritate me. Actually, they really do. I sort of see
the cats bring them in, don't they? The cats end up with them all on their undercarriage.
Burrs everywhere. And I do, honestly, I sort of see this red mist when I see them. It's terrible. So, it's like, that's and so I was like, oh, get rid of that. But I had other ideas. It's only we need to try it all because it's got really good properties. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll give in. So I've got bunches of the wretched stuff. Not only do I not like it, I've now got bunches of it everywhere.
So what are you going to do with it? What's it good for?
It's good for circulatory system. It's good for draining your lymph nodes. It's good for Chris will tell me, and if Chris doesn't, Hannah will. It's good for all sorts of stuff.
So it's very cleansing, isn't it? Things like the liver.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
quite good for the liver, isn't it?
And and for sort of magical properties as well. It's sort of good for sort of relationships and all that kind of stuff.
How would you use it if you were going to take it then? Is it something you would ingest? Is it?
Yeah, you ingest it. So you can make it into a tea. So you can make the leaves into a tea. You can use the stalks apparently in sort of soups and stews and things like that. But I've got plenty of other things that I'd rather put in a soup or a stew other than cleaver stalk. To be fair.
Yes.
The odd parsnip. Tried Marmite parsnips last week. Oh, God, try them. Yeah, nice.
What parsnips?
Marmite parsnips.
Marmite nips. How lovely.
No, not nips.
Parsnips.
That's something different.
Yeah. Can we just move on there? My mind.
Yes, please. So, as far as cleavers are concerned, you use the leaves in a tea. You can dry them, or you can have them sort of just mushed up and stuff them in boiling water and then steep them and then drink the tea.
Oh yes, there's lots of lovely notice here from hands.
And apparently, the actual irritating little burrs themselves, if you get enough of the little devils, you can grind them all up and turn them into coffee.
Ew. I'm sorry. That's not coffee. That's
not coffee.
Cleavers.
No way that chicory coffee is not coffee either.
Exactly.
But
we like coffee.
Yeah,
proper.
Exactly. Yeah, really, really strong. But having said that, I wouldn't mind trying it as an alternative drink to coffee. But I don't think I could bring myself to call it coffee. To be fair.
No, but it's like fruit teas aren't tea. They are
exactly
an infusion. They're not.
They're a hot dishwater. I mean, drink. Exactly.
Exactly, and they always smell better than they taste, in my humble opinion.
They do. There's some that are better than other ones, though, aren't there? To tell you what, my one of the moment is lemon and fennel. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, because fennel has
really nice.
Got flavour.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite interested in anything that supports the kidneys, because I'm thinking again of my friend who's got an issue with kidney function. So if there's anything out there, if anyone knows anything, and I know Chris, I'm looking at you, and Hans, anything that's reasonably palatable can be taken to help improve kidney function, I would be very grateful to know, because I haven't researched it properly.
Yeah. Actually, cleavers is probably one of the ones, I think, because we read that earlier, didn't we, about that? Yeah. So I think,
What was that?
The cleavers.
The cleavers.
Yeah. So again, and let's face it, there's a plentiful sufficiency of those at the moment. So
make a note.
A note. So yes. So I did some foraging. I don't mind getting rid of all the stuff and sticking it on the thingy bob. Marmite, yes. Parsnips, no way. No, there's something wrong with you, Tony. Parsnips are amazing.
They're good in soup.
They are. They're good in everything, if you ask. Especially in my mouth. I love them. And I'll have you know, my little grey cat's called Parsnip.
Yes.
Well, she's nicknamed Parsnip. She's called Barney, really, but she's nicknamed Parsnip. Don't ask why. No idea. Anyway, cheers. So yeah, dandelions for kidneys. Yeah, pisoni.
Oh yes, thank you, Chris.
Dandelions. Yeah. Is that specifically the heads, stalks, or leaves, Chris? Please.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Pisoni. Wet the bed. Yeah. 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 As I say, I'm not sure entirely whether it's which particular part of the dandelion. I can't remember off the top of my head which part of the dandelion it is that you need for that. Not sure. Can't remember. Leaves or stems, probably, because you've got all that really milky sap in the stems, haven't you? And the leaves.
Yes. Not the stalks. Petals and leaves are edible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I have the leaves in salad. They're really bitter, mind you, but I actually quite like them in a salad.
Well, some people like bitter leaves, don't they, in salad, like radicchio and stuff like that. So why not? Yeah.
Exactly. So I have them in a salad. I mean, I would temper them with something else, or not just those. But yeah, I quite like them. So I have them with beetroot leaves or spinach or something as a salad.
Am I thinking completely out of the box, or is there such a thing as coffee made from dandelions? I'm sure there's something. I don't know why that's come to me that somebody.
Dandelion coffee. No, dandelion mead.
Oh, that might go down rather well.
Yeah, dandelion mead's lovely. Really is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, dandelion mead's really nice, but obviously you need to, gather wisely, because not so much now, but at the beginning of the year, so many people go out and collect. Oh, look, lots and lots of dandelions. Let's make some mead. And of course, you need to leave enough for the bees and the other pollinators.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So what's that?
Oh, dandelion coffee is made from the root. So I wonder if that could be good for kidneys.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I knew I'd heard it somewhere. You just pick up information from all over the place.
It's absorb it sometimes by osmosis. It's not necessarily know where you got it from.
Exactly.
Rowan says, my friend's allergic to nightshades. So for Chanukah, she makes parsnips and yankas and bitkas.
It's Hanukkah. It's the Jewish.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're not so familiar with that. That's
yeah.
But yeah, so you don't want anything related to the potato. I think that's the idea.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Potatoes related to the nightshade family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that's where we're at, Rowan. I might be wrong, but.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I like any old root vegetable, to be honest with you. And I'm lucky I don't have any allergies to anything like that. I'm allergic to loads of other stuff, but not them, I'm glad to say.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If not plants, I'd look like a potato.
Chrysanthemum mead. Wow. I've only ever had regular mead, so this is a whole new world for me. It's like,
yeah. The nice thing about dandelion mead is that it's very, very similar to regular honey mead, and of course it's perfect for vegans.
Yes, of course. I mean, I wonder if it's something that is made that you can buy, or whether you would actually have to make it, I suppose.
No, I mean, you might sort of find the odd, sort of pagan vendor that does it, but it's not a commercially available thing.
No.
But
yeah. How interesting.
It's really, really nice. I have made it once. I made a really small batch of it to see what it was like, and it was nice, actually. So,
well, again, you don't want to rob all the bees of their dandelions, do you? That's the problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? You don't want to sort of go bonkers over it. So,
I shouldn't I, Rowan? You're quite right. I said I should start brewing. Hubby actually does brew, but beer. And I've made flavoured vodkas and things like that. But yeah, I haven't quite got my head around the brewing process. But who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. Some plants and herbs are contraindicated if you're taking prescribed medication. For example, you shouldn't drink grapefruit, warfarin, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's one of those things that you do need to check out, isn't it? So I was looking at the properties of spirulina.
Oh gosh, yes.
And of course, 1 microgram of spirulina turns your entire house green. Sneeze anywhere near the packet and that's it. You've covered your entire village.
Oh dear.
It's really, really amazing stuff. But it's algae, but it's an amazing thing. And the reason I was looking at that is that my daughter's just been told by the doctor that she's anemic. And also, like me, she's vegan. It's like, yes. Eating Mediterranean vegetables is all very well and good, but you need your dark green leafies. So so I was looking at the properties of spirulina again. And it's amazing stuff. It really is, and it's got high protein, and it's amazing for all sorts of things. But the downside is that it literally turns everything green. Everything.
Oh dear. Yeah. I was thinking really with vegan meat, we're probably going to need a little bit of that, aren't we? For 90 whatever days time.
I think, I don't know if 90 or whatever days time is enough time to make.
Well, no, I meant in terms of trying to find some that someone's made rather than trying to make it in time, because I think it needs a while.
Yeah, it does need
I might do some research.
Yeah, excellent. That might be quite nice. There's always other things that we can have instead. But,
of course.
Yeah.
But it's very much appropriate, particularly for hand fasting.
Yeah, it's always
just have a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So, So the more recent magic that I've been doing is a friend of mine asked if I'd do some magic for her grandson, who'd experienced some rather horrific bullying at school. And that's a really difficult one to do, because what you tend to forget is that the chances are the kid that's actually doing the bullying has probably got issues herself.
Yeah, they're quite damaged, aren't they?
Yeah, they tend to be quite damaged, and it could be that they've got issues at home, or sort of historical issues and so on. So that's a really difficult one, and you sort of want the whole justice thing, and you want this and you want that and so on and so forth. But it's much more multifaceted than that.
Complicated.
It's really complicated, yeah. And yes, there is an element of that. Of course there is, because for want of a better word, Tim, it's a nasty thing to have to tolerate and so on and so forth. But sort of thinking outside the box, very often there's reasons for it happening in the first place. And they're not to be ignored, and that's the thing. You have to sort of spread the scope wider, don't you? And that's the thing. So I've been dealing with that. Sort of the first stages of that. There's more to come on that particular front, but sort of dealing the first stages of that. Just a sort of a healing for all those involved, really. So that's a big thing, but it kind of generates so many questions and what ifs.
Yeah,
there's an awful lot of avenues to explore, and lots of conversations, because what a parent might want is not necessarily what the child itself wants. And what the school might deem acceptable, the child himself might also decide that that's acceptable or not acceptable, and that might be differing from the parents again. So it's quite a difficult thing to do. There's an awful lot of avenues to, as I said, to go down, rather than just sort of doing this blanket thing, because again, you don't want to be affecting somebody against their will and so on and so forth. So it's a difficult
ethically
one.
Quite tricky.
It is tricky. Yeah, it is a tricky one. So so that's the most recent thing that I've been asked to do. So lots of conflabs, lots of conversations coming up about that. As I say, it's not as clear cut as it might seem. But it's so easy to sort of like do a knee jerk reaction and go, oh, we'll just do this. But you need to sort of sit and think sometimes and go, actually, no, what are the wider ramifications, and what else is necessary in the broader picture. So so that's an interesting thing. So that'll be something I'm sure I'm going to be helping out with on and off over the next couple of weeks, I think. Because obviously there's lots of visits to and from the school and so on and so forth. But it's a horrible thing, and it's one of those things that you hope nobody's ever going to experience, and when it does, it leaves a horrible taste in the mouth. Especially as it wasn't discovered very early on. So it's a difficult one, really. Difficult. what else have we been doing? I can't remember. You know, you kind of have such a busy week and you've been doing all sorts of things, and then you think, what did I do?
Yeah, every week that happens. I'm like, I know I've done a lot, but if you had to ask me to sit down and tell you what, I'd be like, no.
It's tricky, isn't it? What have I done? So the gardening thing, obviously, that was a big thing. It was lovely actually being out in the garden. The sun was really warm, and you know, and it's amazing how quickly things look better just by spending 5 or 10 minutes just tidying it up. But the old lady that I visit, she's too old and too frail to go out in the garden now. So she sits and enjoys it by her French doors. But she talks very lovingly about her garden, but she got such a lovely ethic about it. And she sort of says, you know, that she talks to the plants, even though she's indoors, she still talks to them. And she said, you know, and they know that you love them. You know, she's adamant. She knows that, you know, it's not just, you know, her thought process. And she knows that. And she knows deep down that what she's saying, she feels. And it's lovely. You know, and she says that they respond to you and that they do know if you love them or whether you're just, you know, sort of doing it for show or whatever. It's a, you know, it's a genuine thing. And she said, and they do, they will respond to you. And pretty much everything in her garden, she's, as she phrases it, she's nipped it. You know, she just nipped a bit off and then she's put it in a pot and talked to it and watered it and nurtured it. And, you know, 40, 50, 60 years later, she's still got them. It's really quite incredible, really.
Yeah.
So it's lovely to hear her talking about this garden, because she's, you know, and it's a big garden too, and she just genuinely loves it. But I can see why. As I say, it's really quite magical, and it's got all these little hidden parts to it and stuff. But it's lovely to listen to her talking about it. She gets really enthusiastic about it. So yeah, it's lovely. You know, those people that sort of have nothing much growing in it apart from, I don't know, a mint patch for their pims. Do you know what I mean? And everything else.
Yeah, like a big patch of lawn and it never gets used. I know people in the family who've got the world's best garden that I would love to have, and yet they don't engage with it. They don't go out in it. They don't walk. No, how can you not? However tiny a space you have, even if you only had a balcony, you still want to be with it and contact it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And some people just don't. They just don't feel that cool. It's strange, actually.
I find it very odd.
Yeah.
How can you not?
I know somebody that's literally got astroturf in the back garden and a bit of sort of concrete paving slabs, and literally has, and I'm not joking, I am not exaggerating, has one sole variety of plant in the garden, which is a mint patch, and that mint is only for pims. So that's the only thing that grows in the garden at all. And I think, wow, I mean, good on them for sticking to their guns, you know, fair play. It's just, wow. Yeah, limited, isn't it? And it's like, that wouldn't do for me. You know, I like the variety, and I like things that are not, you know, trimmed and sorted out to within an inch of their life. I like things to be, you know, sort of wild and natural shapes.
Yeah, a little bit wild and woolly, a little bit overgrown, a bit rambly, and
wispy and rambly. I love it like that, you know.
And just see what comes up and working out whether you want to keep it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I never go, you know, sort of got various hedges and, you know, sort of
astrology turf. That's a new one.
Sorry? What's that?
Astrology turf. Hans Pictive Text is doing it again. I love that.
Astrology turf. What's astrology turf when it's at home? Oh, not astro.
AstroTurf is predictive.
I think astrology turf could take off. Who knows?
I quite like the sound of that. Yeah, someone did suggest to me putting a patch of the artificial grass, you know, because grass won't grow there.
You could go out and hoover it in your nightie.
I know, it's just I just can't. No, I can't do that.
Oh dear God! Right, okay, what have we got here?
Yes, Chris does do the gardening. I've heard about the glories of your balcony.
Yeah, the glories.
Yeah, don't put too much
words on it as well. Yeah. Oh dear, what we got here? I've been slows. What's going on here? Yeah, has interest. Yes, going back to spirulina. Yes, it does have interesting effects on urine too, and it's quite luminescent.
No one wants glow in the dark pee.
Oh, no, it's quite handy though, I suppose, if you like bald guys.
All right.
Oh, really? Just lowering the tone.
Well, there we go. Back to bodily function.
Exactly, yeah, and the beetroots as well, yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit disconcerting actually if you've forgotten that you had beetroots yesterday, or a lot of them.
Yes, things can have a pinkish tinge. It's not right.
Exactly. That's useful to remember. Beetroot juice for anemia. I shall pass that on to my daughter. Yeah, beetroot juice. I don't know whether she likes beetroot, but I can't remember. Probably. I'll ask her. So,
yeah, so in moderation, so that it doesn't give you a nasty fright that you think you've got something horribly wrong.
Exactly, yeah. And you forget that and you sort of, sort of stand up and go, oh my God, I'm dying. Oh no, I had beetroot.
Yeah, it's beetroot. It's okay. Or spirulina.
Exactly.
Actually, if you ate both, you'd have... I want to hear what happens if you have both. Does that mean you get pink, luminous, whatever?
Who's taken up the challenge? Anybody taken up the challenge? Oh, right. Okay. We have one taker up on that challenge.
Yes, report back next week, please, because I'm not doing it.
Looks like a trip to the supermarket and Holland and Barrett coming up.
Oh, dear. There should be a TikTok on that.
Definitely, yeah. So Rowan says, last hand fasting, they had 100 people and 40 gallons of homemade. Wow. Some not very long brewed. Wow. I bet
we know people that can drink a lot of mead, but that's going some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wow. Cool. So when do we get the Bekie and Heather magic class? Magic class? Well, that could go horribly wrong, couldn't it?
Oh, very much so.
Well, maybe at some point in time we'll have a think about that, definitely. So yeah, wow. That's all we've got here.
Jennifer's.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Chris is saying about the effects of beetroot and so on as well.
2 jars of it, yes.
Oh God. Yeah.
It's artistry. What colour pink can we come up with, says Chris? A magical combination of substances.
No, combination of sort of like pinky red and luminescent green.
You just need blue and purple, and you got the rainbow.
Exactly. Yeah. And that proves that you're a unicorn if you do rainbow poo.
Wow. I think there's a mission. Not mine.
See how we can get on with that then, I think.
If you choose to accept it,
my God.
take up the challenge.
Exactly. Tiddly palm. Hang on a moment. Oh, I'm just catching up on here. AstroTurf. Yeah, no worms, no seeds for the birds, burn the damn stuff. Yeah, horrible stuff. I don't like it.
It's nasty in every way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, Rowan, I'm just going to pick up on what you've said here, that you have vegan iron supplement tablets. My daughter was prescribed them by the doctor and then realised that they weren't vegan. They had lactose in them and gelatin. So she said to the pharmacist, have you got anything different? Who said, you're going to need to get a different prescription for your doctor because this is specifically what they've prescribed. And actually, within an hour, she'd been given a new prescription, which was handy. And the vegan one. So yeah, they do make the vegan ones. And of course, because it's a protected characteristic now, of course, they have to do that, which is good.
Yes.
So yeah, about flipping time too. Hello, Jen. Hello. So yes, what colour can we go on with? Yeah, definitely. Oh God, yeah. Yes. So, read now completely. Oh yeah, predicting dreams. Had one of those situations. A small time, and obviously, as you know, I have a lot of bigger predictive dreams for more interesting or important events. But you also get the predictive dreams which are almost deja vu, but they're not. It's an actual dream. You sort of can pinpoint the day that you had this specific dream. And I had one of those situations last week, and I was mid-conversation. I was making some bunting. Mid-conversation, and it was suddenly like, oh, suddenly remembered this dream from about 3 years ago. Wow, I hadn't been moved then. And it was so bizarre because it was like, at the time, didn't obviously recognise my house where I live now because I've been there 2.5 years and not 3 of it. And obviously didn't recognise the person that I was talking to either. So yeah, and that was strange. And then suddenly, bang, there it was, and remembered it really clearly. And it's like, oh, there's this and there's this, and yeah, and I love that. I really do. I mean, obviously, there's lots of occasions where I don't like the predictive dreams because they're a bit grim. And that wasn't. It was a sort of a nice innocuous time spent in the afternoon making things, which was nice. But yeah, it's interesting when you get those, isn't it? And there's no sort of run up to it. It's just suddenly, bang, there you are, and you just suddenly remember it, and you're back.
You suddenly get that feeling, don't you, of, oh, that's what it was about.
That's what it was. And you suddenly realise, because at the time, that like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever, you've woken up and thought, well, that was a bit strange. That was this and this was happening, and don't know where I was, and I don't know who that was. And then suddenly, oh, yeah. So that was rather nice, actually. I quite enjoyed that. It was 5 minutes of a smile. Yeah, so good old predictive dreams. Do you get them?
Yes. I mean, there are things that I dreamt many years ago, that dreams that sort of stuck with me. And what will happen is, as you say, you'll suddenly be somewhere and you'll think, oh, that feels, that's what that dream was about. At the time, you had no concept, but there's just something incredibly familiar about the feeling and maybe the environment you're in or the conversation you're having. And it isn't deja vu, but it is that old thing of suddenly making a connection across a huge amount of time and going, that's what that was about.
Because you can pinpoint, you might have spoken about the dream that particular morning that you've woken up and said, oh, I had this really strange dream, this happened, and this happened. So, it really is, sort of like a time hop almost, isn't it? Like
pretty much.
And it's, it can be quite a sort of ordinary situation, just like it was for me, this week. Ordinary situation, not doing anything particularly magical or anything really. It was literally just sitting having a conversation while I was making something, and it was just this whole thing of like, oh my god, yes. And I can remember talking about it and thinking, don't know where I was, and don't recognise any of the surroundings, because obviously I didn't live there then, and it was really strange.
But that feeling that you've done an awful lot, that you've done stuff before, which I think explains why usually when I try and do something, it never seems stonking in you, because somewhere in my mind I've already done it, which I know sounds a bit bizarre, but I've always had that ever since I was quite small. So it doesn't take me long to learn something, because there's a part of me that already knows it. That I can't explain. Things like drumming, for example. No musical training, absolutely no reason on earth why I should somehow know how to do it. And yet, by and large, that's what happened. I mean, you saw me do it. So it's kind of like, I have no idea. You just drop into it. It's like,
exactly. Okay. So drop back in. And it's almost like you've learnt it. While you've slept almost. And it's just, I don't know, it's almost like a download. It's like downloading a new app.
Exactly.
It is, It's strange though, isn't it? But I do like that. As I say, sometimes, I still get the predictive, the big predictions, and they're horrid. I don't like them. Especially if it's about a crime or whatever. That's not
I don't tend to get those, admittedly, or at least I've not recognised them as things. I've had odd ones where I've rung somebody up and go, "Oh, are you okay?" Because I'm just thought I've had a strange dreamt about somebody I wouldn't normally dream about, or a situation. I thought, oh, maybe I need to call them, make sure they're all right.
Exactly.
But by and large, my dreams are filled with people that don't exist in this yet, that I'm aware of in this life.
And of course that was the situation with me this week, because I was with Hannah and I hadn't yet met Hans at all. So it was strange. And as Hans says, we were talking about wedding clothes. So again, topic of conversation, wedding. Well, at that time, wouldn't have been appropriate.
Would have been completely and utterly off the radar. There wouldn't have been in a million years that would have been something you would have thought about.
No, exactly. No. So so it was all very strange. So London Girl says, do I keep a dream diary? Actually, to be honest with you, no, I don't. I used to.
Me too.
But I don't know, it seemed to slip by the wayside, probably when I was in my 40s. Which is a long time ago. So I did up until I was in my 40s, but since then, no particular reason other than time, really. I think just one of those things. It's just, another thing to do and another thing to do, and something else takes precedent, doesn't it? And you get out of the habit. It is very much, a habit thing. And as London Girl says, dream premonitions can be scary. And of course, there's that situation where, if it's about a big crime, and you've got information about a big crime, quite often you run the risk of getting arrested. I've been arrested before. It's a long time ago now, but I have been arrested because there shouldn't have been any reason that I had the information that I had that I gave to the police, and I got arrested. So that was a bit disconcerting, to be honest.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's really hard to try and explain. But I mean, I've never really had dreams like that. I have to be honest. My dreams have normally been fairly pleasant. But Chris has said, "Is anyone here a lucid dreamer?" I know I'm dreaming, and I can dip in and out of dreams and change them as well. I used to play with it a lot more than I do now. Now I realise sometimes it's important to just go along with it. But I've often known there's a part of my mind that knows that I'm dreaming and still enjoys it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's an adventure.
It depends. Sometimes I'm lucid with it, and I'm sort of, again, like you say, you sort of think, oh well, especially if it's a recurrent dream. It's like, oh, it's this dream again. Oh, actually, I think I'll change this. And I used to have a recurrent dream a lot from when I was really small. And over time, I managed to change even a small part of that, which kind of helped me a bit. But sometimes I do get that recurrent dream. I think, oh, it's that again. Perhaps I'll do this. One of my favourite recurrent dreams actually is that there's giant mushrooms in it. Nothing dodgy about them. Nothing dodgy. They are just giant mushrooms. And they are bigger than me. They're probably about twice or three times the size of me, and they're kind of like almost like houses. And I just grab hold of the roof, and then they fly, and I just am flying, and I love the flying dreams.
Oh, I love a flying dream.
And I fly holding on to the roofs of these sort of mushroom houses. I love them. They're brilliant.
Oh, right. So is that how you do your flying normally, or do you just fly?
No, I fly, and sometimes and this was an interesting thing. I've been doing what is now termed as parkour. I've been doing that since I was.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Bouncing dreams, I used to call it. It's literally where you can jump.
Jump. And of course they call it. It's called the phrase now. It's called parkour. And of course, when it suddenly became the thing, it's like, oh, I've been doing that in my sleep for years.
Yeah, I couldn't do it awake, mind you.
I'm quite so good in reality.
Yeah, I'd face plant, but in dreams, I'm an expert.
Yeah, in dreams, I do it really, really well. So yeah. Then again, you get the opposite of that when you're running and your legs won't move.
I very rarely get that. I can normally think myself out of it and know it's
And you're trying to run, and it just doesn't happen.
Time hop, time warp.
Time
hop. But certainly, as a kid, I often had dreams where I wasn't a child and I was an adult. So for me, my natural state is being an adult. I was never very good at being a kid.
Yeah. No, I was never very good at being a kid either. Yeah. What do we got here?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jen says, let's do the time hop again.
Yes, time warp.
Nan says time hop, Jen. Oh yeah, ask Becky. So I do this time hop thing. Becky said time hop, and the Rocky Horror song "Let's Do the Time Warp Again" came into my head, except I changed the words to time hop. Yeah. The 1966 Alice in Wonderland. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful film, actually, isn't it? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Interesting what Chris says as well. I had a good friend with narcolepsy. He found holding down a job was complicated. Yeah.
Okay.
We know about that. Yeah, it is difficult. Or impossible, either or. Yeah, exactly. Niels. Oh dear. So what else I've been doing magically? I can't remember. I really can't remember. Not foraging. Yeah, we talked about some foraging, didn't we? God, it's just because it's such an ongoing thing, I tend to forget.
Yeah. it's like I say, there's a lot of day-to-day stuff that has to go on as well, isn't there? Really?
This week or last week, so I said about doing the mirror spell. I talked about the mirror spell.
Yes.
Actually, one of the things that is interesting. Yeah, one of the things. Thank you. I was just about to say that. We did some serious magic a few weeks ago for employees and finding the right ones. And it was interesting, actually. A lot of very, very hard work went into this, and some people were found and seemingly were appropriate. And again, you know, as I say, we did this this magic to make sure that they were the right ones and they had the right attributes and so on and so forth. And then mysteriously, two of them decided can't start. One gave one reason, one gave another reason, completely, you know, isolated reasons and so on. And then we've been finding out some things subsequently from other people that happen to know them, just randomly happen to know them or know of them. And it's like, clearly these people were not right for the job. And, you know, the brilliant thing is that they didn't start, so there was no paperwork involved of starting somebody, paying them, and then, you know, them either leaving or whatever. So, yeah, and it's nice when that happens. And at the time, it's like, oh, God, you know, back to the drawing board again. But actually, that just goes to show, and quickly, too, it was, you know, within a week or two. And it's nice when you know that your magic's good because you've, you know, done that, and suddenly miraculously can't start because of this reason, or I can't start because of that reason. It's like, oh, that seems a bit of a lame excuse, but okay, well, and the person that did start seems to be absolutely lovely. So yeah,
that's good. You got one down, maybe more to come.
Yeah, one down, two to go. So we'll get there. But yeah, so it is, you know, it's rewarding when you can see the results of it. You know, sometimes you do magic for other people and you don't always get the feedback of or, you know, whether it's been good, bad or indifferent. You don't always get the feedback. Usually if it's, you know, if it's they're on the blower saying, oh my God, this is happening, I can't believe it.
But people don't always recognise it because it can be very subtle. And I mean, my neighbour, who actually has moved out today, I've lost two lovely neighbours. Hopefully I'm going to get some more lovely neighbours to replace them. But they had a slight falling out with the neighbours the other side. And so I worked with her to do work about not about just creating her boundary, because it was literally a boundary thing in the garden and space, and just to create a good atmosphere. And, you know, it was trying to work very ethically without it being an issue. And it worked extremely well. I mean, for about 3 years, you know, it stayed good. And like I say, they're moving on now. They're moving a few miles up the road somewhere else. But it was lovely to get the feedback, because like you say, you do this stuff and half the time you just never know. You just assume because you don't hear anything it's probably worked.
Exactly. Yeah, it is nice to get the feedback though, isn't it? As I say, you know, generally speaking, especially if it's quick, you know, sometimes I'll do something, then, you know, the results are happening either the following day or the day after that. And, you know, usually get somebody either on phone or messenger, I can't believe it is, you know, changed already, and it's in, you know, and that's really nice. But like you say, sometimes it takes a little bit longer depending on what it is. You know, sometimes it's longer to see the results, or they're very subtle, either or both.
Some things just take time, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Some things do take time. But yeah, it's always lovely to get the feedback. It is. The neighbours. Oh yeah. And again, we had a similar thing with neighbours as well. It's like, oh no, they're really rather noisy, these people that are clonking around.
Are they upstairs from you?
Well, they were clonking around upstairs, and it's like, I think I want people clonking around upstairs, thank you very much. So there was a certain amount of magic, and they went away and they've not been back.
Okay, fair enough. Were they looking at the house and decided it wasn't for them?
Yeah, that cheerio.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll have lovely neighbours, because I've always had lovely neighbours. I've never had anything other than lovely neighbours, so I have no expectation. I will make them lovely neighbours. I will make friends with them and they'll be lovely. Oh, hello, Lainey. Lainey's just arrived. Big girls really do cry. We're just about, we'll be wrapping up soon. That's
yeah, it won't be too long, unfortunately, but hello.
It's Lainey who'd been out in nature. We were talking about you earlier and how noticing nature, because he hadn't been out for a while. That's magical.
What we say to the latecomers is always late, worth the wait. See, I live by that maxim.
You do. Famously. Wiccan time. Oh, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Jennifer's going back to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so what we got here? Oh, thank you for joining us, Jen. We're going to be winding things up ourselves, actually, because Jen's back at work, and well, we need to wind things up. So it's about time you did that awkward wave, Heather. Everybody that's been watching, thank you very much for watching. Anyone that watches subsequently, thank you very much. Travel tickets for Wembley.
Yes, her son's going to see Sunderland playing the FA Cup final. So she was booking tickets and hotels and things yesterday. So,
Dawn Cherry Paul as well. Hello, good morning.
Oh, hello, morning.
Good morning. See Heather do her awkward wave, I'm afraid.
You will. Here it comes.
Yes, here it comes. So we'll see you all next week. Cheerio. Heather, keep going. While I poke these buttons. Here we go. Goodbye.
Bye.